Is Bidenomics the beginning of the end of for the U.S. economy? Michael Snyder reports. I have a great idea. Let's wildly print money. Let's systematically destroy the reserve currency of the globe. Let's add $1 trillion to the national debt every 100 days. Let's strangle the economy with all sorts of ridiculous regulations. Let's dramatically hike interest rates. Let's make things exceedingly difficult for our domestic energy industry. And let's allow theft, violence, homelessness, and migration to run wild. And then we'll sit back and see what happens. What I've just described is essentially what we have witnessed over the last 3 years. Joe Biden and others in positions of power in Washington are running our economy to the ground, it appears, and the system really is coming apart at the seams. The Bidenomics really is the beginning of the end for the U.S. economy, it appears. Former Chrysler and Home Depot CEO Bob Nardelli is also sounding the alarm about the severe damage that Bidenomics is doing. In fact, he just told Maria Bartiromo that the fault lines of our economy are are ready to crack. Former Chrysler Home Depot CEO Bob Nardelli warned that the fault lines of the economy are about ready to crack on Monday, adding that the Biden administration's alleged policy missteps could leave a cumbersome mess for the next person who sits in the Oval Office to clean up. He said, what I've seen over the past 3.5 years is that a series of debacles and missteps have created a tremendous pressure on the fault lines of our economy, and they're about ready to crack, he told Fox Business Maria Bartiromo. He's right. Our economy is steamrolling in the wrong direction, and the short-term outlook is extremely troubling. One recent survey of small businesses found that nearly half of them believe that they will definitely or probably not survive another 4 years under Joe Biden. In a new report from Red Balloon and Public Square, nearly half of the 80,000 small businesses surveyed said they definitely or probably will not survive another 4 years with Biden. There is nothing I can afford to do in addition to what I'm already doing. If things don't change, I'll be finished, one business owner said in the report. Already, businesses are making moves to preserve their cash flows. 4 in 10 now said they're delaying paying bills, while whopping 7 in 10 have put all staffing plans on hold, the survey found. And a different survey discovered that a whopping 43% of all small business renters in the U.S. could not pay their rent in full last month. Can you imagine? A significant number of small businesses across the nation are struggling to pay rent due to skyrocketing costs, a recent study by business networking platform Alignable found. The company's latest small business rent report, published on Friday, found that 43% of small business renters in the U.S. were unable to pay their rent in full and on time in the month of April. Such a high delinquency rate has not been reported in the U.S. since March 2021, at the height of COVID-19 pandemic, when it reached 49%. More small businesses are going under with each passing day. We really are in the midst of a small business apocalypse, and that is extremely bad news because small businesses create most of the new jobs in this country. Rising costs are one of the primary reasons why so many small businesses are now in hot water, and inflation is also crushing ordinary American families that are just trying to make it from month to month. Earlier today, I was astonished to learn that the price of an order of medium fries at one McDonald's location in Los Angeles was $1.79 at the end of 2019, but now it has risen to $4.19. Can you imagine? That's ridiculous. When the Federal Reserve was pumping trillions of dollars into the system and our politicians were sending out free checks to everyone, I warned that this would happen. Not too long ago, $648 was a fairly typical monthly mortgage payment on a nice home. Today, it's the average monthly payment on a new vehicle in the United States. More than 115 million people in the U.S. finance their automobile purchases, and if you do, you might want to hold on to your current vehicle for as long as you can. Buying a car is becoming more financially difficult than ever, with the average car payment in the U.S. at an all-time high, $648 for new cars and $503 for used vehicles. The average sticker price on a new vehicle has risen to almost $50,000. If you're old enough, you probably bought an entire house for less than that many years ago. Speaking of home prices, they have risen by more than 47% since the beginning of this decade. Home prices have surged 47.1% since the start of 2020, easily outstripping the gains seen in recent decades. That's according to a recent analysis by Resi Club of the Case-Shiller National Home Price Index, which shows that house prices in the 1990s and 2010s grew a respective 30.1% and 44.7%. Today's most homeowners are stuck with their current homes because they literally cannot afford to move. Without a doubt, the raging inflation that our leaders have created has done an immense amount of damage. According to one recent survey, 65% of U.S. households are convinced that inflation is making their financial lives worse. Inflation made the financial lives worse for 65% of U.S. households, according to the report. Among those, 19% said it was much worse. The findings were drawn from the Fed's 11th annual survey of household economics and decision-making, which looks at America's economic health across a variety of areas, including employment, income, banking and credit, housing, retirement planning, student loans, childcare, and even buy now, pay later usage. The longer Joe Biden is in the White House, the more intense economic pain is going to become, it appears. Many businesses that were once thriving are now going belly up. The latest iconic chain to file for bankruptcy is Red Lobster. Red Lobster has filed for Chapter 11, bankruptcy protection, days after shuttering nearly 100 restaurants across America. The seafood chain, which has closed restaurants in 27 states, has been struggling with rising lease and labor costs in recent years, and also promotions like its iconic all-you-can-eat shrimp deal that backfired. Demand for one such recent promotion overwhelmed restaurants, reportedly contributing to hundreds of millions in losses. If we really want to fix the economy, we should be like George Costanza and do the opposite of everything that Joe Biden and his minions have been doing. But even if Joe Biden is voted out in November, the experts running the Federal Reserve will still be there, and they have been doing an absolutely nightmarish job. In addition, our Congress critters just continue to borrow and spend us into oblivion, no matter who controls the White House. Our leaders have been making really bad decisions for decades, and now we really have reached a breaking point. Bidenomics has been an abject failure of historic proportions, and the pain that it's causing is getting worse with each passing day, it appears. This is by Michael Snyder on the Economic Collapse blog. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Michael's new book, entitled Chaos, available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon, and you can check out his new Substack newsletter right here. About the author, Michael Snyder, extremely controversial new book, Chaos, available in paperback and Kindle on Amazon. He's also written 7 other books available on Amazon, including End Times, 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of Michael's books, you help to support the work that he's doing. You can also get his articles by email as soon as he publishes them by subscribing to his Substack newsletter. Michael has published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, the most important news, and he always freely and happily allows others to republish those articles on their own websites. You can connect with Michael on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and share his articles on your own social media accounts. It's definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, we strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.